Well, I just looked at my notes because it is my duty, my future, and maybe the future of millions of others. I know it may seem incredible to somebody you don't know. Will let you know, inform you, something that's never been done in the history of the world. Well, that's a bit strange, isn't it? Most of you think it's a load of nonsense, but you will find it is not. Why? Of all things, have Jews always been successful? They're not a lot different to anybody else. They're not different to many Arab states or ways of living. They're not different, except in one way. They've stuck together through thick and thin, through murder, beatings, destruction, Holocaust. Now, why is that? Why have they been treated in such a way when in actual fact they're people who want peace, who create work, who create progress? It's quite simple really, because they were prevented in the diaspora in Europe. They were prevented because they'd been successful, and other countries were afraid of the influx of people who've been successful because they controlled everybody through what can be called Christian ways. In other words, several people very rich and most of them poor. With the philosophy of Christianity, I don't know if Jesus Christ ever thought it would get to this horrible stage where it was looked on as wonderful to be poor, when in fact it's the most miserable existence for everyone. Not merited, never should be allowed, but it is the philosophy of Western culture because of their religion. And as time went on, the Jews kept to themselves because their religion taught them from when they were tiny, almost babies, taught them that there's only one rule in life, and that is to help each other in this life, not to look on this life as miserable, to look on this life as good as possible, not to live in misery, in anxiety, in pain. Nothing like that was ever thought of in the Jewish religion known as Judaism 3,000 years ago. They lived in Jerusalem, Jerusalem certainly, but they lived in what we call Semitic lands. There are Semites. And so Arabs are Semites, that's what it means. It's not just Jews. And their religion was eventually the way and the future that they lived, so that their way was that, which is a marvelous thing, the very opposite of the Christian way, and that was help each other, do unto others as you would be done unto, although Christ said that it was never practiced. Like the law in the UK, the most criminal organisation, filth and lies, where all the people in charge are the most disgusting people who've got to the top because they got money only, and they had friends in high places, and so they all joined the club of criminal lives, the scum of the earth. And they all, without exception, nearly all, there might be one or two, not pedophiles. The whole government, the whole system, even that cowardly liar, Cameron, the Prime Minister, who is illegally Prime Minister. How can one be legally in charge with only 32% of the vote? He's pulled the wool over everybody's eyes because he's first of all a liar, and a liar's a thief because he knows a liar's a thief, yes, because a liar always takes what is his. A thief also can be right up to the top, a traitor stabbing his friends in the back even, because he knows he can get away with it. And even murder. The worst murder ever created was the murder of millions of people in Iraq and then Afghanistan. What business of ours is it here in the UK who the cowardly hypocrites think they're it? What they need is a face smashed in, the use of force, to bring them down to a level that they merit, and to visit their punishment, which will not be with words when we finish, when there's millions of us fed up with what's happening with poverty, wages for young people and no future. When if I was running it, I'll say, yes, I've got to speak with my poor self. If I was running it, the basic wage would be and the basic wage would only be for productive capacity of what we borrow to import everyday manufacture, £700 or £800 a week with virtually no tax, because the greatest enemy of the people are bureaucrats, what Hitler used to kill the Jews. And so I come to that. Jews again, who have this wonderful way of wanting peace, always instead of making war. Yes, I know Israel, who had to fend for themselves with the whole world virtually against them. After what happened to them, they needed a refuge where all Jews could go. Wouldn't you, if you had your family with their heads torn off their shoulders, your family killed, murdered, beaten, because they were Jews, because they'd been successful? And why were Jews successful? Because they were prevented by the European countries and the diaspora. Listen, they were prevented from owning a business, land, even a shop is land. And so they were allowed to do one thing which Christians were not allowed, and that is to lend money. So they got together and started lending money, and being very industrial, intelligent, brilliant people, they made a big success of that. Till eventually they controlled a great deal. And they all became quite wealthy. Not all of them, but nearly all of them, because they studied, they worked hard, never gave up. And because they made money, everybody thought they were crooks. They were not honest, because making money in the West was looked down on, except for those who got it like it is now. Well, that's all for the time being. I'm going to speak a great deal about what the Jews have done, and how that should be respected and admired and allowed to run just about every business, whether it's productive or whether it's sitting at a desk, because they have got the brains, the experience, and above all what they have, the greatest quality in human nature, known as courage, going forward when it hurts. It's all for the time being. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm sorry I'm a bit dull at first few speaks, but I won't be in the future.